beautiful people. Welcome back. So, in this episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 3, Episode 3, titled Courtside Conundrum, we have, oh my God, Whitney is turning stuff up. So, we have Whitney turning it up. We have Lisa and Meredith get into it. We have Heather being the comedic relief. And we have Jen talking, what about me? It's supposed to be about me. So my God, let's get into this recap and this review. So we pick up where the ladies are still at dinner, and we have where Whitney was just letting them know that she's working on retrieving memories from when she was younger. And the reason that she buried those memories is because from talking to her siblings, she realized that she was abused when she was younger. Of course, the ladies try to get a little bit more information out of her, and she's like, okay, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But she said in the interest of just talking about things, Meredith and Lisa, why don't you talk about what's going on with you? So Lisa's like, okay, Meredith, for the 5th time or for the 6th time or once again, I apologize. I apologize for the things I said. And Meredith was like, but that apology doesn't seem genuine because you're apologizing for the things you said, but you're not saying that you didn't mean to say those things. So Lisa was like, yeah, I meant what I said. She said in her confessional, she's like, I meant what I said. I'm just sorry that I said it when I did. So in a roundabout when Meredith told Lisa that she's mentally ill, that's what I got from it, the way she worded it. She's like, she's mentally ill, and when she decides to work on herself, maybe they could work on her friendship. Of course, Heather goes in her confessional, and she's speaking with this holier-than-thou attitude like, Meredith tends to do. She's like, yeah, Meredith saying that, you are mentally ill, Lisa, and you need to go and find yourself. And then when you find yourself, then maybe you'll be worthy enough to be my friend. Oh my God. I'm telling you, Heather is my favorite. She sees the comic in everything. She sees the comedy in everything. Well, until she doesn't, which we're going to find out at the end of this review. So basically, Meredith is telling Lisa she needs help. She needs help, and then they keep talking about it a little bit, and then Lisa's like, you know what? I'm so sick and tired of this. I don't know if you want me to slit my wrist. And if everybody's like at the table, no, stop talking, Lisa. And I'm like, why? And then Jen leans over and tells Lisa that, you saying that is a trigger for Meredith because someone in Meredith's family tried to hurt themselves in that way, or try to hurt themselves just in general. And Lisa was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I'm sorry I used those words. I didn't know that. And Meredith is like, now you don't know. So I'm assuming that, Lisa did know about it, but she forgot. Then Jen was like, you know what? You guys are over here talking about this stuff. This is really petty stuff. She's like, honestly, I'm about to lose my whole family because of what I'm going through. It's a possibility that I might be going to jail for a while. And, this just don't make sense. This is all petty stuff. And remember, this whole weekend getaway or a couple of days getaway was supposed to be for Jen. But the ladies are still at the table going back and forth at it. So after Jen says what she did, then Meredith says, you know what, Lisa, I do acknowledge your apology. I don't know if I can accept it just yet because there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I do hear you, and maybe now we could move on. So that was the gist of dinner. Now the next morning, everybody is getting ready. They have an excursion plan. We have Jen walking around the house with a bullhorn trying to wake everybody up. She's like, get up, ladies. I'm not going to use the word that they use. Get up, ladies. We got things to do. Let's go. So what's planned for the day is 2 events. So they're having what they call a bike ride party. So it's where you have a bike set up with seats on either side, and the ladies are pedaling. So on that now, you also have booze, so they have to pedal, but of course they have the main guy who's gonna pedal because or drive, because when the ladies start drinking, of course they're not gonna doing all that workout. So of course now we have a pole in the middle of the bike, or the elongated bike, I should say. Whitney decides to take it up herself that this is gonna be her stripper pole, so she gets on it and flips upside down. The ladies pour their drink down her skirt as she is upside down. So imagine what that is like. And I'm like, this is broad daylight riding down the city of Scottsdale. You have people out doing their business or whatever, and seeing these people behave the way they're behaving. So we had that for a little bit. And then we have another event that was planned by Lisa, where they're going to see some ladies perform a rodeo, synchronized horse riding at a rodeo. And to Meredith's point, she said the only reason she think that Lisa planned that event was so she could wear her Dior boots and let the ladies know that she have Dior boots, that it was in the Dior fashion show. The ladies on the horses were part of the Dior fashion show. And John bought her Dior boots. And look at my Dior boots. Come look at my Dior boots. So she must have said it like 10 times, to Meredith's point. She just wanted an excuse to wear the boots and show them off. And of course, we're in Arizona, which is kind of like, a desert, it's a desert city, desert state. So she needed to have an event to wear the boots to. So she planned that event for them. But it was nice to see. The ladies got a chance to dress up in the dresses that they usually wear when they're riding horses. And they had to get up on that horse and ride around. Of course, everybody else did, but Whitney didn't. Whitney didn't. She walked with her horse. You could tell they were struggling to get up on that horse. I felt bad for Heather because she was struggling. They had to bring the horse over to the side by the fence so that could help her get up. But the other ladies, they all did a good job in riding the horse around. So that was the event for the horse show with Meredith. So while they were there, Heather had already spoken to Meredith back at the house when she was getting ready, where she asked, she's like, do you really a whole glam team? Like, who you here to impress? You here to impress the cacti? You here to impress the tumbleweeds? The girls on a girls trip? Why are you putting on full glam? So that was funny. And then she had talked to her about, trying to patch things up with Lisa. And Meredith was still being kind of, resilient. And Heather is like, come on now. Think about it. You have, compare the situation to other people that you've had, a falling out with. How did you handle it? Maybe you should consider handling it the same. And Meredith, well, the situation in this is not the same. So therefore, I can't handle it like that. But she was like, come on, Meredith, stop being so condescending and open up a little bit and stuff. So while they were at the rodeo, Heather pulled Lisa aside and told her, I had a talk with Meredith and this is what I said. And I'm hoping that you two will come together and talk about it. So that's one conversation being had with Heather and Lisa. Then we have another conversation to the other side being had with Meredith, Whitney, and Jen. Jen is just, listening. And Whitney was basically telling Meredith, look, I feel like I'm in the middle of everything that's going on. I have too much going on in my life. People keep coming to me with information and expect me to hold it and not say anything. And I can't do it no more. So I need you to talk to Lisa and get all of this open out on the table so you guys could get through it and move on. And Meredith was like, I didn't come to you with anything. You actually came to me with the information. So of course, Whitney was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to handle this. So she thought about it. She's like, I'm going to handle it. So now we leave the rodeo and it is the night of the party. They're having Jen's themed party, garbage, trash, whore, lingerie party. I can't believe she actually went through with it. Remember, she was planning it last episode and Coach Shaw was like, girl, please don't do that. That's not a good idea. But she went through with it. So the ladies are cooking dinner for themselves. They're not having a chef do it. They're cooking dinner for themselves. So we have Whitney go out to the grill to do steaks because they were going to do steak and salmon. So Whitney goes out to the grill to do steaks and she asks Jen to come with her. And Whitney asks Jen, she's like, have you heard Meredith come out in her face and say any rumors about Lisa? And Jen was like, yeah. And then she thought about, the time that it happened. And then we have Meredith walk up now. And she's like, so what are y'all talking about? So, of course, Whitney tells her, like, listen, we really need to address this with Lisa because I can't keep holding in this information. And Meredith was like, well, I'm not going to do it. She's like, Whitney's like, all right, then I will. I'll do it. So she goes into the house and she's in a mood. We still have Lisa and Heather in the kitchen, getting ready to eat. Whitney comes in upset and Heather's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? So, of course, the other ladies come in and join. And she's like, you know what? I need to get this out in the open. So she's like, and they were talking. She's like, shut up. Let me talk. Let me just get it out the way I need to get it out. So by now, Whitney is heated. So Whitney's like, Lisa, this is what's being said about you. They're saying that so-and-so who has seats at the Jazz game or whatever, the Utah Jazz game, that you are messing with him in order to get Vita Tequila out to where it needs to be. And of course, Lisa says, oh my God, that is so disgusting. That man is like a father to me. Oh, we do a business transaction. Why would anybody say that? She's like, well, Meredith is the one who brought it to me. And Meredith was like, Lisa was like, that's how you really feel about me? That's how you be? Thanks for being my friend. That's the way a friend behaves to a friend. And Meredith was like, I didn't say that about you. She's like, oh, she got so upset, Lisa did. She's like, no, I need to get up. I need to go call my husband. So she gets up from the table. The producers, I heard them in the background telling her, no, don't leave. But she was like, no, I need my husband. All I have are John, Jack, and Henry. And, I need my family right now. So Heather tells Meredith, you need to go in there and let her know you didn't say that about her. So Meredith goes and she's, trying to have a conversation with Lisa. At first, Lisa was like, no, get out of my room. You see her like she's packing, ready to leave. And Meredith was like, no, I need you to hear me out. So she started talking to her, telling her she didn't say that. I heard it from Whitney. And Lisa's like, all right, come on, let's go back out front and talk to Whitney. And they went back out. They had a dialogue. And, of course, Whitney is standing 10 toes down. I heard it from Meredith. Meredith is saying, no, I didn't say such a thing. Yes, I did hear other rumors about you, but I did not bring that out there. And I apologize. I'm not sure what Meredith was apologizing for again. Lisa, of course, accepted Meredith's apology. But she's like, I accept your apology, but, and then she's like, we need to stop talking about each other and stuff like that. You have Heather whispering across the table, mouthing across the table to Jen. She's like, this weekend was supposed to be about you and your situation, Jen, and I'm so sorry. So then now, Whitney, who's been drinking, by this time you could see that Whitney was sloshed. She was drunk. She said to Heather, you knew about all of this, so why you pretending you don't know? Heather was like, what are you talking about? She's like, remember when we went to the Jazz game on New Year's Eve and we had Angie? Angie was sitting courtside with us, and she told us that, you see those seats that Jack and John are sitting in? That seats belong to the man that Lisa is supposed to be having an affair with in order to get her tequila into stores or into his establishment. And Heather was like, girl, what are you talking about? You think that's not a nugget that I wouldn't like to have on her? I love gossip. If I knew that, I would really have that close to my heart and use it on her. What are you talking about, Whitney? I didn't hear you say that. And Whitney was like, yes, you did. You had that information. You did. And Heather was like, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that because I didn't have that information. I would have held that information. I would have used it. And for you to come at me and come out of your face at me like that, that's not cool. And that is where the episode ended. So now we have Whitney and Heather clashing, which I never thought I would ever see because Heather is constantly protecting Whitney. And Heather don't get no drama. She just finds the comedy in everything and laugh it off. She tries to be the healer amongst the group. She tries to mend everything. I think Heather is the voice of reason in this group. When everybody is clashing, going left, right, center, all around, Heather is the one who tends to bring everybody back. And she has been the closest to Whitney. And for them to be clashing like this, it ain't good. So hopefully they'll get through this and get to the other side, because no, we cannot have Heather and Whitney clashing. We have Jen, getting ready to face the consequences of her actions. And we see that Meredith and Lisa might be actually bridging the gap, but of course Meredith will not be trusting Lisa a lot. Now we need somebody else in the scene. I think Angie is gonna come on as full time, because from what I'm seeing here, the ladies are going in different directions. They're separating, and I don't want to see this franchise end, because it's good to me. So we need some more people to come in and not really stir up the pot, but just to have another storyline going, and maybe the other ladies could, she could be a buffer for the other ladies. So hopefully we have somebody else joining the cast. But this is what we have going on in Arizona at the garbage trash whore lingerie party. So I guess the theme is fitting, because everybody's clashing. The only person who's sitting quietly right now is Jen, and that is a first for us. The first two seasons of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Jen was the middle of all the drama that's going on. But right now, like I said, Jen is facing, some things going on in her life, and she don't got time for these ladies no more. Like she told them, she said her whole world is her sons and her husband. And to think that she's going to lose that in a couple of months is just overwhelming. So, that's where we are with it. Hopefully next week, episode 4, we'll have a better situation going on. And the ladies could come to some sort of resolution and move forward. But that is what happened at the Arizona getaway that Whitney planned for Jen. But as it turned out, Whitney took it over with the drama with Meredith and Lisa. So thank you guys for listening to my review of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If you're listening to this on my podcast, please make sure that you subscribe to the podcast and download this review. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves and your family. Bye-bye.